Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you as we celebrate the launch of the Inspire Living Learning Center. In my 15 years as Dean of the School of Education, this is a day that will stand as a very special one in our school and certainly in my tenure as Dean. Inspire House embodies the School of Education's deep and ongoing commitment to preparing the next generation of heroes who will shape our children, lead our schools, and better our communities. Our students expect nothing less than to leave Indiana University ready to improve the world. Inspire House is now part of our promise that they will be prepared to do just that. In a moment, you will hear from our special guest, but I would be remiss not to recognize the other members of our platform party. Pat Connor is the Executive Director of Residential Lives and Services. Judy Crow is the Assistant Director of Inspire. Stephanie Power Carter is the Director of the Neil Marshall's Black Culture Center and Associate Professor of Literacy, Culture, and Language Education. Doug Williams is President of the School of Education Alumni Association Board of Directors, and Kurt Simic is President Emeritus of the Indiana University Foundation. And lastly, I would like to take a moment to recognize a very special person who was not able to join us today. Gina M. Ford is the President of the Ford Family Fund, which contributed $1 million to enable the creation of Inspire by supporting programming and scholarships. Without her vision and generosity, Inspire simply would not exist. Using Gina Ann's own words, I quote, "Education and those who teach are unique. Teaching is not a job, nor a career. It's a calling. And I can think of no other more noble calling than teaching." Thank you all for being here with us today, and now we will proceed with our program.
Good afternoon. My name is James D'Amico. I'm an associate professor in the School of Education in the Literacy, Culture, and Language Education Department. And it is an honor for me to be the first faculty director of Inspire, and a real privilege to work with our Assistant Director, Judy Crow, graduate student Andy Rehak, and Associate Dean of Teacher Education, Rob Kunzman, to provide leadership for the community. The mission of Inspire is to cultivate an inquiry community of students who are passionate about learning and teaching and committed to making a difference in schools and in other community settings. There are three key questions that animate our inquiry community. What does it mean to be a learner and leader in education? What makes an effective teacher in our diverse technological society? And what can we do to begin to address the needs of schools and communities? We explore these questions in our Friday morning seminar and through service learning projects in 3 local schools, Harmony School, Templeton Elementary, and the Project School, as well as schools in Gary, Indiana, led by a project from Drs. Dion Cross and Meredith Park Rogers. Inspire students are also pursuing their passions in small inquiry groups, choosing particular topics to investigate across the year as they are mentored by School of Education faculty. As the faculty director of Inspire, I'm also well aware that the real leaders of the community are the students. Through their intellect, creativity, and commitments to each other and the broader School of Education community, they are shaping what Inspire is and what future cohorts in this inquiry community will look like. And we undeniably need future leaders in education. We are faced with a daunting set of challenges, whether it is corrosive attacks on public education, resegregation of schools by race and income, the school-to-prison pipeline, or the erosion of the arts in our schools. What is needed is critical and compassionate response to these challenges, striving to uphold the principles of democracy and equity that remain at the heart of an educator's and a citizen's work in the world. And it is my privilege to introduce to you one of these future leaders, Matthew Couch. He's the first chairperson of the Inspire Living Learning Center Leadership Council.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As Dr. D'Amico said, my name is Matthew Couch, and I'm the chairman of the Inspire Living Learning Community for the 2014 to 2015 school year. Two major questions that I'm often asked as a student about Inspire is, what does Inspire do, and how does it better prepare its students for their futures? The answers for both, I believe, lie within what it means to educate. William Arthur Ward once said, "The great teacher inspires." This concept is so ingrained within our university that it is carved in stone on an exterior wall of the School of Education. And this is where Inspire takes its root and its meaning. We challenge each other on the floor to ask the pressing questions in the field of teaching and also of learning. Our community believes that Inspire promotes education in all walks of life, and that it should be a voice of knowledge, caring, and most of all, understanding. Students in Inspire are excited about the opportunity to have additional early field experience exposure through service learning opportunities. And of course, they're excited to do these opportunities with our great faculty and staff of the School of Education, all of whom are great points of reference, and every person in the community believes that they are pleased with what they are doing in education and where they are doing it. And that, I believe, is where we find our answer to our second question. Inspire allows for everyone to prepare for their future, even if they're not education majors. That's right. Our community houses 42 education majors, but also 11 non-education majors, 33 of which, like myself, are from Indiana, 16 are out-of-state students, and we have 4 international students. And being from a small town from not too far from here, I would say that Inspire opens a welcoming and wholehearted community, and I would certainly hope that my cohorts on the floor would agree to that. The students not focused towards a career in education are majoring in a variety of fields, such as business, finance, biochemistry, physical therapy, marketing, journalism, and pretty much anywhere in between. The non-education majors are valuable to Inspire because everyone in the community can learn from each other and explore issues in a variety of ways and perspectives. This will help lay a solid foundation for today and tomorrow's youth, which of course impacts all forms of education. And to conclude, I will say, someone once told me that everyone is an educator. Whether you're a teacher, manager, CEO, lab worker, doctor, or even a parent, you will teach someone something. And that's a very valuable lesson in work and in life, no matter where you are from. Thank you all very much for your attention, and have a great afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm James Wimbush, Vice President for Diversity, Equity, Multicultural Affairs, and Dean of the University Graduate School. And it's with great pleasure that I have the opportunity to introduce a remarkable man, Julian Bond. Mr. Bond is best known for his political and social activism and work in the civil rights movement. Raised in Nashville, Tennessee, he later moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where he graduated from Morehouse College in 1971. His successful career has included founding and serving as the first president for the Southern Poverty Law Center, serving in both the House of Representatives and Senate for the state of Georgia, and acting as chairman of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Mr. Bond's dedication to civil rights has been multifocused and inclusive, from working to end disenfranchisement for African Americans to his outspoken support for the GLBT community. He has also narrated the PBS series Eyes on the Prize, which details the civil rights debates of the 1950s and 60s, which will be shown at the IU Cinema later this evening. Mr. Bond continues to be an advocate for civil rights for all Americans, as evidenced in his Harris Lecture yesterday afternoon in the Maurer School of Law. I know he would agree that there is still much to be done. His work and passion, which began early in his life, is a wonderful example of what motivated and creative students can accomplish when they're supported and inspired. Please help me welcome Mr. Julian Bond.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your warm applause. It's a great, great pleasure to be here. This is, I believe, the third time I've spoken at Indiana University. The first time many, many years ago, many, many years ago. The second time, my wife, who's seated out here, and I spent our honeymoon at Indiana University, staying in the bridal suite of the Student Union, which we were told was the biggest student union in the United States. Is that true? Well, is it still true? Good. And then this third occasion, which would be right now. Now, talking to my wife, preparing to come here, about what I might say, I said to her, shall I tell them the story about Seal Boy? And she said, no, don't tell them that. That's stupid. But I'll do it anyway. And it has to do with Indiana University. Even before I knew about Indiana University, I had heard about Indiana University because some of you, I bet, don't know that there was a time when Indiana University was one of the great swimming schools in the United States. The coach was named Councilman. And the fact that I knew what his name was tells you something about me. And I was enamored of Mr. Councilman and enamored of Indiana University because I was a high school swimmer and a college swimmer. And I had a good friend who was a swimmer. He had missed being on the Olympic team by one vote. And he and I talked about swimming all of the time. And he subscribed to a magazine. Swimming was not a big deal then. This is many years ago. Swimming was not a big deal then. He had a mimeograph machine, a mimeograph magazine that he got every month about swimming in America, but which schools were this and that and so forth and the other. And one of them carried a story about a boy named Seal Boy. And Seal Boy had been traveling with his family in the Gulf of Mexico and fell off the boat and was rescued by the SEALs. And the SEALs took care of him and nurtured him and kept him alive. And then some time passed and he was saved. And the big question was, where's he going to go to college? Where's Seal Boy going to go to college? Would he go to Indiana, which was a big swimming school? Or what do you think the other big school was in America then? It was Yale. Yale and Indiana were the big swimming schools. If you were a swimmer then, you wanted to go to one of these schools. Would Seal Boy go to Indiana, or would Seal Boy go to Yale? As it turns out, there was no Seal Boy. My friend had made this story up. I believed it like a fool. I've never forgiven him from that day to this. But anyway, so it's a great, great pleasure to be here. I do have other connections with Indiana. My sister got her master's degree here in Indiana. I had a lot of cousins who lived in Louisville who came here to go to school. So it's a great, great pleasure to be back here once again. And I began to wonder, what would I say on this occasion? I come from a family of educators. My mother was an elementary school teacher. My father was a college president. I grew up on college campuses. I've always been surrounded by people interested in education. And I thought about my own life and the engagements I've had with social justice in this country. And I believe the young people who are here today are going to find their own engagement in social justice. I've been involved in the civil rights movement for all of my life, from early years until now. I've been involved in LGBT rights. I've been involved in environmental rights. The last time I was arrested was at the steps of the White House. I chained myself to the White House to protest the, what am I thinking about? Yes, the XL. And we'll see what happened. I'm sure President Obama was moved by my presence there, and he's sure to do the right thing. And for all of my life, I've been involved in the anti-war movement. And I became involved in all of these things because, like the young people gathered here today, I was interested in the world around me, and I wanted to make it better than I found it. I wanted it to be a better place after I've gone than it is now. That's why I'm so happy to be here and so happy to participate in this program today, because I think it's going to create a body of young people who are committed to social justice and who will do all they can to make it happen. So thinking about Seal Boy, not a real person, but somebody who, in my imagination, lived an amazing world. I want these young people to pledge to go forward and do good and do better. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you, Julian. Will you come back up to the podium for a moment, please? We are so honored to have you with us today. On behalf of the Indiana University School of Education, I am proud to present you with the Dean's Medallion, which recognizes outstanding service, leadership, and dedication. Your life's work to better our society and reshape our world certainly embodies these traits. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now, I'd like to ask of our Inspire students to join the platform party in a ceremonial ribbon cutting to signify the launch of the Inspire Living Learning Center.
You probably want this.
You ready? Okay. This is good. Thank you all very much for attending this afternoon's dedication. These wonderful students who have joined us today are all part of the Inspire Living Learning Center, and we're so delighted to have them be part of this community and, of course, future educators. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Like that?